Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have exciting news to share with you guys. Guess what? NSW, which is New South Wales, have released their new requirement for visa subclass 491. So what does this mean for anybody that wants to come in through this visa? It means that you can be nominated for 491 visa subclass for NSW. Remember, you don't need any job offer. You don't need any employer to sponsor you. That experience you have in your country, you can use it to get a 491 visa in NSW. So I'm going to be taking you to NSW website so we can read the new requirements they made for this 491 visa. I hope you guys know what the 491 visa is all about. But for the people that are seeing my channel for the first time, I'm going to explain. The 491 visa is a temporal skilled migration visa, is a 5 years live and work in Australia visa, and NSW is one of the states that are open for this sponsorship. What it means that if NSW is going to sponsor you, then you can live in the regional area of NSW for 3 years, meet the requirement, and apply for your permanent residence after 3 years. I'm going to leave a video that I've talked about 491 visa subclass so you can read and know all the benefits from this particular visa. And if you're coming across my channel for the first time, of course, my name is Uche. Here I share tips on how you can live and strive in Australia. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Click on the notification bell. Anytime I post any new video, you'll be the first to be notified. And guys, please always like my video while you watch. It helps YouTube to push it to a wider audience. Let's go to the NSW website and see what they have for us. This is the immigration website for NSW, just in case you want to come and read. And I'm also going to be leaving it in my description box. In visa and migration, you can see it here. And we're talking about 491 regional subclass. So I'm going to click on this so we can read up. So this is for 491. Remember I said they just opened their new requirement. This visa allows skilled migrants to live, work, and study in designated regional area of NSW for a period of 5 years. So for NSW, they made two pathways for this nomination. So pathway 1, apply directly to NSW if you have an established work history with regional NSW based employer. So what it means is for people living in Australia and they live in regional area of NSW. Let's say you're a student and you just finished studying and you're working there, you can go for this part 1. Part 2, be invited to apply by investment NSWs. Part 2 is for offshore applicants, that's people living outside NSW, living outside Australia. This part 2 is for you. So NSW nomination for this visa under part 2 is exceptionally competitive. Consequently, we strongly encourage anyone considering NSW nomination under part 2 to consider all other migration pathway, the Home Affairs website, and not wait to be invited to apply for NSW nomination. What are they trying to say? So let's assume I'm a teacher and I want to nominate NSW. They are saying you can also try other pathways like the 190, the 189, and not just wait for the 491. Okay? So if you have other options under the Home Affairs, you can also try other options because it is very competitive. Remember, it's a point tested, so you need to score minimum of 65, also be under 45 years for you even to be eligible to apply for it. You have to meet the Home Affairs requirement, then you will now meet the NSW requirement as well. So let us read the basic eligibility. So to be considered for NSW nomination, you must meet the following basic criteria. Visa eligibility. You must meet all visa requirements outlined by the Home Affairs, which I have already mentioned, that being under 45, meeting the 65 point, having your occupation in the occupation list for NSW, and skill assessment. I cannot stop talking about skill assessment. You need a skill assessment if you want to come in through the skilled migration pathway. You cannot run away from it. And also have occupation on the eligible skilled occupation list for this visa. So if you want to know the occupations that are eligible for NSW, please click on here and you will see all the occupations, okay? And residency, you must be either currently residing in NSW or offshore, which means you're outside Australia. So that is what they are talking about here. Important information about submitting expression of interest for NSW. So expression of interest is when you have already gotten your assessment and you've written your English test. You go to Skill Select and put in your expression of interest. It is free of charge. And they are saying your expression of interest must remain valid for the entire assessment period. A specific visa and states. Your expression of interest must be exclusively for the skilled workers regional visa and seeking nomination from NSW alone. Okay, what they are trying to say, because you can actually do more than one expression of interest in Skill Select, you can nominate Queensland, you can nominate Victoria at the same time. NSW is saying you have to nominate only them, and it has to be for that 491 visa. So you cannot go and be nominating 190, 491. It has to be 491 visa, and you have to choose NSW only. Evidence of claim. You must provide evidence for all claims in your expression of interest with valid documents. Ensure those documents remain valid for the least 5 business days post application. So what it means is that when you use your offer letter, every other thing you use in getting your skill assessment, your English, make sure that you kept the evidence because they are going to ask you for it. Employment claim. NSW has specific guidelines on the date you can claim skill employment. These guidelines are unique to NSW, and failing to comply would lead to your application being declined. So here is for part 1. That's the key steps for securing nomination. I'm not going to dwell so much for part 1. That's for people that are already in Australia. I will concentrate more on part 2. That's people outside Australia. To be considered for NSW nomination under part 2, you must check your eligibility. We have already talked about it. That's meeting all the Home Affairs eligibility and also NSW nomination eligibility requirements. You can read more on that. Submit your expression of interest. I've already talked about how you can submit your expression of interest through the Skill Select, so you can read more on that. Be invited. NSW holds invitation round ongoing throughout the financial year. All expression of interest that met the guidelines are considered, but preference is given to occupation in NSW target sector. Important because of the exceptional high demand of NSW nomination, we strongly encourage considering NSW nomination to explore all other immigration pathway. Okay, I've talked about that. Because they are competitive, you have other options you can also go. But if you know you have like higher points and your occupation is in demand, of course, please go ahead and do your expression of interest. Respond promptly if invited. So if you're invited, you will have 14 days to complete your application. You also need to provide valid documents from every claim that you have made within the 14 days window. So all those documents that you use in getting your assessments done and getting positive assessment, you would submit all of them here when you are invited. Wait for your nomination assessment. Your application will typically be assessed within 6 weeks after payment. So they are charging you for application. Remember, I said some states might not charge you for application, but some states might charge you for application. So within that 6 weeks, after you have made payments, you wait for them to give you nomination if you meet all requirements. So here is understanding part 2 invitation round and NSW target sector. So timing, invitation round occur throughout the financial year. They've said that select NSW only in your expression of interest. This include your points in English language proficiency, your work experience, and NSW priorities. What else again? So guys, these are all the things that I came here to share. You can go to this website and read more. I don't need to start repeating because they've already stated all the things that they need you all website and have seen the requirements that they need you to apply for this 491 visa subclass. If you're living outside Australia, this is the right time for you to check the occupation list for NSW. If you can find your occupation there, please go ahead and do your assessment and write your English test. Once you have done that, create expression of interest through the skill select. It is free of charge. They're not going to charge you for that. Submit and choose NSW as your only state, okay? And wait for them to give you a nomination. It's simple as that. They're not asking too much. And if you're also living in Australia and you're living in NSW, this is the right time for you to do your assessment and also do your skill select. I hope this video will help someone that is planning to move to Australia to start doing the needful, because Australian migration is the in thing right now and they are taking people all over the world. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It is free of charge. Turn on the notification bell so anytime I post video, you'll be the first to be notified. And please share this video to your friends and family. You never know who you're helping with this information.